Wards. Listen to me, there's a version of you right now that's standing in the way of everything you were born to become. That version of you that makes excuses, that complains, that chooses comfort over growth. That version of you has got to die. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because as long as the weak version of you keeps breathing, the strong version of you will never live. You can't carry both. You can't step into your destiny while dragging your doubt. You can't hold faith and fear in the same hand. One will always choke the other. So it's time to decide who you want to be, wards. The one who keeps talking about what they could have done, or the one who finally does it. Every single person reaches a point where life stops asking politely and starts demanding change. Wards. That moment when you wake up and realize you've been living small, living scared, living for approval instead of purpose. You feel it deep inside, that whisper that says you're meant for more. But then that weak voice answers, saying, not now, not ready, not good enough. That weak voice is a liar. It's been lying to you for years. It wants you to stay the same because change is painful. Wards. It wants you to stay broke because success is uncomfortable. It wants you to keep sleeping in when you promised yourself you'd get up and chase your dream. Wards. That voice will kill everything beautiful in you if you keep listening. The weak version of you doesn't like discipline. It doesn't like sacrifice. It doesn't like honesty. Wards. It doesn't like to face truth in the mirror. It wants the result without the responsibility, the reward without the work. But life doesn't give blessings to those who only wish. Wards, it gives blessings to those who work, who persist, who get up every time they fall. You can pray, you can dream, you can talk, but until you move, until you act, nothing changes. The strong version of you is waiting on the other side of discomfort, waiting beyond the excuses, waiting after the I can't. It's right there, wards. But you'll never meet it if you keep protecting your weakness like it's part of your identity. You've got to be real with yourself. You've got to call yourself out. If you want to grow, stop pretending that your laziness is self-care. Stop calling procrastination patience. Stop labeling fear as being realistic. You know what you're doing. Deep down, you know the truth. Wards. You know when you're wasting time. You know when you're settling. You know when you're choosing comfort over calling. The weak version of you justifies everything. It tells you that you've done enough. Wards. That life is unfair, that you can't help your situation. But the strong version of you, that one doesn't complain, it creates. That one doesn't whine, it works. That one doesn't give up. It grows through the pain. Life isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There's only right now. And right now you've got two choices. Continue feeding your weakness, wards, or start fighting for your greatness. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you strengthen the weak version of you. Every time you say, I can't, you build a wall between you and the life you deserve. Every time you say, it's too hard, you're teaching your mind to surrender. Wards. But when you say I will, when you push through pain, when you choose discipline over distraction, you begin to kill the weak version and awaken the warrior inside. Wards. The world doesn't need more people pretending to be strong online. It needs people who are strong when nobody's watching. The real test is what you do in silence. Wards. What you do when it's just you and your thoughts. That's where battles are won. That's where destiny is shaped. You can post motivation all day. You can talk about success all night. But if you don't back it up with consistency, you're just decorating your failure with pretty words. The strong version of you is forged in the dark, not in the spotlight. Wards. It's built in early mornings when no one claps, in late nights when everyone sleeps. It's built through rejection, through heartbreak, through failure. Every time life knocks you down and you rise again, you kill a little bit more of that weak version. There are no shortcuts to transformation. You can't skip the struggle because the struggle is what sculpts you. Pain is the price of strength. Every tear, every loss, every disappointment is a brick in the foundation of your power. Stop running from it. Stop hiding behind comfort. Comfort is a slow poison that kills dreams quietly. Wards. It feels good now but destroys you later. Growth feels painful now but rewards you forever. You've got to decide which pain you want. the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Because one will build you, the other will bury you. Some of you have been carrying the same excuses for years. You say you're tired, but you haven't even begun to fight. You say you're waiting for motivation, wards, but motivation doesn't come before action, it comes after. You want to feel ready, but readiness is a myth. Nobody ever feels ready to change. They just decide they're done living the same stories. You want to kill the weak version of you. Then stop giving it air to breathe. Stop giving it time. Stop giving it power. Stop letting it make decisions for you. You've been letting your feelings drive your future, but your feelings lie. Your feelings say stay in bed, but your purpose says get up. Your feelings say it's too hard, but your destiny says keep going. Your feelings say you'll fail, but your potential says try again. Stop letting emotions sabotage your elevation. The weak version of you has friends. It surrounds itself with people who think small, talk small, words, dream small. People who settle, gossip, complain, and never move. If you keep walking with the weak, you'll never become the strong. You can't expect to fly when you're surrounded by people afraid of heights. Sometimes you've got to walk alone. Sometimes you've got to distance yourself from noise, from negativity, from comfort. It's not loneliness, it's preparation. Isolation is the gym where strength is built. When you're alone, you meet yourself. You hear your truth. You face your fears. That's when transformation begins. There's a power inside you that you haven't even touched yet. You think you're operating at your limit, but you're barely scratching the surface. Every time life breaks you, it's not punishment, it's preparation. Life breaks you to build you stronger. It removes what's weak, what's fake, what's temporary, so that only what's real remains. That's how diamonds are made under pressure, under heat, under time. Stop asking for an easy life. Ask for strength to handle a hard one. Because the strong version of you doesn't pray for smaller problems, it prays for bigger courage. Wards. It doesn't ask for it, it asks for character. It doesn't seek validation, it seeks victory. You have to see yourself differently. Stop identifying with your past mistakes. Wards. The weak version of you is built on memory, but the strong version of you is built on vision. Stop looking at who you were and start focusing on who you're becoming. Your past was a lesson, not a life sentence. Wards, stop letting it define you. Every day you wake up is proof that your story isn't over. You still have chapters to write, mountains to climb, lives to impact. But you can't do that if you're still carrying yesterday's shame. Forgive yourself. Not because you deserve it, but because you need it. Forgive and move. Heal and hustle. Rest and rise. If you want to change your life, change your standards. Stop accepting less than you're capable of. The weak version of you loves mediocrity because it's safe. But safe never created history. Safe never inspired anyone. Safe never changed the world. You were not born to blend, and you were born to break through. And that breakthrough comes the moment you say enough. Enough of the excuses, enough of the fear, enough of the self-doubt. You were given a gift, and wasting it is the greatest disrespect to life itself. Look, success isn't built in one day, it's built daily. Wards. Every choice is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're casting a vote for the strong version of you. Every time you keep your word, every time you stay consistent, every time you stay grateful, you're reinforcing strength. That's how you change. Small wins every day. Progress, not perfection. But it starts with that one decision to stop being who you were and start being who you're meant to be. The weak version dies the day you decide to stop feeding it. And when you finally begin to grow, don't expect applause. People won't understand your silence, your grind, your growth. That's fine. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because your future deserves more than your fear. Wards. The strong version of you doesn't seek recognition, it seeks results. You'll lose people, you'll lose habits, you'll lose comfort, but you'll gain clarity, courage, and confidence. Wards, and that's worth more than anything. You'll start to realize that the weak version was never really you. It was just the version that life built out of fear, rejection, and doubt. The real you was always buried under that noise. You're not finding a new you. you're remembering the old one. The one before life told you who you couldn't be. You owe it to yourself to rise. You owe it to every tear you've cried, every night you doubted, every time you fell but got back up. You owe it to that version of you who kept fighting when everyone else gave up. Don't you dare quit now. Don't you dare let weakness win. You've come too far to stop. Keep moving, keep believing, keep building. Because every step forward is a funeral for the weak version of you. Let it die. Let it go. Let it fade. The world doesn't need your weakness. It needs your strength. It needs your light, your story, your courage. Someday you'll look back and realize that the pain that broke you was the same pain that built you. You'll see that the nights you cried were the nights you were being reborn. Words, you'll understand that everything you lost was preparing you for what you were meant to gain. And you'll smile not because it was easy, but because you didn't give up. Wards. You'll see that killing the weak version of you wasn't an act of cruelty, it was an act of love. Love for your potential, love for your purpose, love for your future. Because the truth is, wards. Strength isn't about never falling, it's about never staying down. Courage isn't about never feeling fear, it's about moving despite it. Success isn't about never failing, it's about using failure as fuel. So from this day on, every time you feel weak, remind yourself, this is the moment that makes me stronger. Every time you feel tired, remember why you started. Wards. Every time you want to quit, remember who's watching. The future you. That version of you that's waiting for you to become brave enough to change. Wards. You can't meet that person until you let go of who you used to be. So burn the old story, bury the excuses, destroy the limits, and start again. Because the best version of you isn't built in comfort. It's built in courage. It's built in faith. It's built in the fire. Kill the weak version of you, not out of hate, but out of hope. Because there's a stronger, wiser, bolder you ready to take over. Wards. And the only thing standing in the way is the one you've been protecting for too long. Stop protecting your pain and start protecting your purpose. Stop defending your doubts and start defending your dreams. This is your time. This is your season. No more waiting, no more wishing, no more weakness. From this moment forward, every breath, every step, every move, let it be proof that the strong version of you is alive and unstoppable. The world is waiting for that version. Now go show them who you are. The weak version of you has lived long enough. It has made excuses. It has delayed dreams. It has kept you from the life you were born to live. And now it's time to kill it, to silence the voice that says later, to bury the doubts that whisper you can't, to stop protecting the part of you that fears growth. Because that weak version is not your friend, it's your greatest enemy. It doesn't want you to rise. It wants you to stay the same. Wards, it doesn't want you to win. It wants you to survive quietly. And the longer you let it live, the more it kills your potential, the more it steals your fire, your purpose, your faith. Wards, your chance to become everything you were created to be. So this is the moment you decide that the weak version of you dies tonight, right here, right now, without warning, without mercy, because it has no right to live inside someone destined for greatness. You know that weak version, you've met it every morning, the one that says sleep 5 more minutes, the one that says not today, the one that promises it'll change tomorrow but never does. It's the same version that tells you to settle when you know you're meant for more. It tells you that other people get lucky, but not you. Wards. It tells you that you failed too many times to try again, that you're too old, too late, too broken, too tired, and every time you believe it, it grows stronger. It feeds on your hesitation. Wards. It feeds on your pain. It feeds on your comfort. It feeds on your fears. It becomes the reason you look back at your life one day and wonder what could have been, but not anymore, because now you know its tricks. Wards. Now you know its lies, and now you know the cost of keeping it alive. The weak version of you doesn't want change. It loves routine. It loves excuses. It loves comfort. Will make you think rest is progress when it's really avoidance. It will make you think patience is wisdom when it's really procrastination. Urge. It will tell you to wait for the right time when the right time has been every day since you first had the dream. It will tell you that no one understands you, that no one cares, that no one sees the effort, words, and it will use loneliness to convince you to quit. But hear me, it's lying because the weak version of you survives on your belief in its lies. Stop believing it and you take back your power. Stop listening to it and you start hearing your purpose again. Stop protecting it and you free your strength, your courage, your voice killing that weak version isn't about hate. It's about love. Words. Love for the person you're becoming. Love for the potential you've buried under years of fear and self-doubt. It's about standing in front of the mirror and saying, no more of this half-lived life. Words. No more of this pretending. No more of this hiding. You are not meant to crawl when you were born to climb. You are not meant to wish when you were born to work. Words. You are not meant to dream small when the fire inside you is screaming for something greater. You can't let that weak version keep calling the shots. It had its chance. It wasted it. Now it's your turn. Words, the strong you, the disciplined you, the fearless you, the you that acts when afraid, speaks when unsure, moves when tired, and believes when everything around says, quit. The weak version of you loves to talk. It loves to plan, but never execute. It loves to start, but never finish. It loves the excitement of the beginning, but not the grind of the middle. It loves the fantasy of success, but not the pain of building it. And you've got to recognize it for what it is, a fraud, an imposter living rent-free in your head, using your energy, using your time, using your faith, and giving you nothing in return. Words, you can't negotiate with it. You can't reason with it. You can't fix it. You can only kill it. Because the moment you try to fix your weakness, it disguises itself as humility. It pretends to be safety. Words, it hides behind logic. It makes you think you're being smart, but really you're being scared. And scared never built anything worth having. There's a moment in life where you either step up or stay small. Words, there's no middle. And that moment is now, not next month, not after you feel ready. Because readiness is another lie told by the weak version of you. You're never ready. You just begin. You show up trembling. You show up uncertain. You show up exhausted, but you still show up because every step forward is a stab at the weak version. Every day of consistency is another nail in its coffin. Every time you refuse to quit, you cut its oxygen supply until one day it dies quietly. And you realize it never had power. It only had permission, your belief, your surrender. And the day you stop giving it that, words, you start living like the person you were supposed to be all along. The weak version of you can't handle rejection. It can't handle pain. It can't handle being uncomfortable. It runs at the first sign of failure. But the strong version thrives on it. It uses pain as fuel, rejection as redirection, failure as feedback. That's the difference. And that's why one lives free and one dies full of regret. Every successful person has killed that weak voice inside them. They didn't get rid of fear. They stopped bowing to it. They didn't stop failing. Words. They stopped quitting. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. Killers of weakness are not born. They're built in moments of discipline, in hours of silence, in days of sacrifice. Words. And in years of relentless faith. You have to stop being emotionally loyal to your weakness. Stop defending it like it's a part of you that deserves to stay. It's not your friend. It's the enemy inside your walls. It's the thief that steals your progress every night. And you've got to stop letting it rob you. Start confronting it. Start calling it out. When it says you can't, say, watch me. When it says you're tired, say one more. When it says it's over, say I'm just getting started. Because the more you push back, the smaller it becomes until one day it has no power left. Words and all that remains is strength, focus, and purpose, the pure version of you that was buried beneath years of fear. Your potential is sacred. It's the treasure you were born with. Words. And that weak version is the guard dog that keeps you from touching it. It says, not yet, not you, not now. And you listen, but the truth is, you are ready. You've always been ready. You just needed to decide. That's all it ever takes, a decision, not a miracle, not luck, not timing, a decision to stop being weak, to stop being small, to stop pretending, to stop making peace with mediocrity. And when you make that decision, something shifts inside, something ignites, something breaks free. You feel it, the power, the focus, the hunger, the confidence, the clarity, and it changes everything. It changes how you talk, how you walk, how you show up, because once you've tasted what strength feels like, weakness disgusts you. The weak version of you will try to come back. It always does. It will wait for moments when you're tired, when you're hurt, when you're lonely, when life hits hard, and it will whisper again. It will try to take the throne backwards. And that's when you have to remind yourself, no more. You've come too far to turn back now. You didn't go through hell just to quit halfway. You didn't survive all that pain just to live average. Wards. You didn't rebuild yourself just to fall back into the same hole. No, not this time. This time you fight back. This time you protect your peace. This time you guard your purpose. This time you stand firm. This time you look that weakness dead in the eye and say you no longer live. Here, the journey to killing the weak version of you is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Wards. It's about showing up again and again. It's about being disciplined even when nobody is clapping. It's about doing what's right when nobody is watching. It's about holding yourself to a standard higher than your excuses. It's about becoming allergic to mediocrity. You stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with the old you. Wards. That's the real battle. The internal one, because once you win there, you win everywhere else. Life will always test you, but once the weak version dies, tests don't break you, they build you. Challenges don't scare you, they strengthen you. Setbacks don't stop you, they sharpen you. Because you become unbreakable, you'll know you've killed that weak version when you no longer seek validation, when you no longer need approval, when you no longer apologize for being strong. Wards. When you no longer hide your fire to make others comfortable, when your silence becomes louder than your words, when your actions speak faith louder than your fear, that's when you know you've evolved. Wards. That's when you know the real you has taken over, the you that was meant to lead, to inspire, to conquer, to create, to build, to rise. And when that version walks, the world moves. Because strength inspires strength, courage creates courage, and when you walk in your potential, you give others permission to do the same. So from this moment on, treat every weakness like an enemy. Don't entertain it. Don't feed it. Starve it with consistency. Suffocate it with discipline. Destroy it with belief. And replace it with strength. Because the world doesn't reward almost. It rewards all in. Wards. And you can't be all in while carrying half of who you are from a life that no longer fits. Let go. Burn the bridge back to the old you. Walk forward into the fire. And let it refine you, because the flames that scare you are the same flames that will purify you. The pain that tests you is the same pain that will teach you. Wards. And the resistance that hurts you is the same resistance that will raise you. You've got everything it takes inside you already. Strength, vision, purpose, faith, drive. But they're locked behind fear. Wards. Behind habits, behind hesitation, and only by killing the weak version do you get access to the full power within. Don't waste another second living half alive. Wards. Don't waste another day repeating the same story. This is your season to rise, to evolve, to transform, to lead, to break every limit, because you are not here to survive, you are here to thrive. Wards. And that begins when you finally kill the weak version of you before it kills your potential.